today. So we did the yin class yesterday, which was just holding those poses for long periods of time and just allowing your fascia to almost remold itself. So that's that plasticity. And now today we're going to go back a little bit to the elasticity training, but also we're going to be using those little massage balls. You bought yours too, hey Margie, fantastic. So if you don't have the spiky massage ball, then that's absolutely fine. You can use a tennis ball as well. And we're gonna do some different releases today so that you guys can have a different experience from what we did a few days ago as well. So again, just notice how your body's responding with each of the releases, because if there's like a huge shift for you, then it kind of indicates to you that that's like a little trigger point area for you. It maybe highlights the certain areas in your fascial lines that need some releasing. And then sometimes if there's like very little effect, it's just kind of telling you, well, that's not an issue area for you per se. So it's just interesting for you to notice as we go through each of the exercises, how you're responding or not. All right, cool. So any questions before we start, guys? Everyone good? Fantastic. So let me just mute the background noise, and we're going to be starting in a seated position. So just come and sit towards the front of your mat, and you can just have the ball resting just in front of you, maybe between your feet. Separate your knees and your feet slightly. Make sure that your hip flexors aren't pinching, so you might need to kind of move your legs a little bit. And then rest your arms on top of your knees, so you're creating a tabletop for yourself. And then just lean your spine forward so you can rest your head comfortably onto your arms. And then if you're comfortable to close your eyes, you can close eyes. Just allow your gaze to soften slightly. And then just for the first part of today's class, allow your lips to seal and all your breath comes in and out through the nose. So allow your breathing to lengthen slightly, to slow down. And become aware of the back of your body. So as you inhale, bring your awareness to the back of your ribs, the back of your lungs, and the back of your heart. And then notice as you bring your breath into your back body, how that movement of your diaphragm starts to have a releasing effect down towards your lumbar spine and your lower back. So remember that your diaphragm actually attaches all the way down here to the lumbar vertebra. So the simple act of breathing is going to allow your body to release and to soften. Take a moment to bring your awareness to your neck, your shoulders, and your arms. Maybe you just need to move them around gently and see if you can find a place of ease for your neck and shoulders, releasing any unnecessary tension. Staying here for just a few more moments, turning your gaze inwards and pausing here to observe how you are feeling energetically today. Perhaps allowing your belly to soften. And this is an area where we can often hold emotions. So that saying of having a knot in your stomach is sometimes related to us not letting emotions go, or perhaps holding stress or tension. We're taking 3 more breaths in and out. Feeling the energy move through your body, along your spine, down your legs, along your arms to your fingertips. And on your last breath out, allow your mouth to open, and it's a gentle sigh. And then if your eyes are closed, you can blink them open, bring yourself back into the space, rolling up into a seated position, taking your hands and put them just around the fronts of your knees. Use your arms to help yourself as you lengthen up through your spine. Almost feel that there's a thread coming up through the crown of your head. And then on your exhale, curl your tail under and start rolling through the lower back, mid back, neck and shoulders, and if possible, let your elbows straighten so you get that wonderful stretch between the 2 shoulder blades. And then on your next breath, bend your elbows, pull yourself forward, and then lift yourself up nice and tall. And we're going to do 2 more. Using your breath to guide your movement. And so this is really about opening the back line of the body. And then as you bend your elbows and pull forward, and it's about lengthening and engaging along those back extensors. 1 more time, curling tailbone. And this time maybe you can bring your awareness to that connection into the front of your body. And then bend your elbows, pull yourself all the way up, and lifting nice and tall. So place your hands just behind you as if you're going to sit on the beach. And you're going to take the ball underneath your right foot and just start rolling it around. So it's a little bit of a different sensation from when we're standing, because then you can actually put your body weight onto the ball. So this is just going to be a little bit of a massage, a little release. And make sure that you get all the way over to the heels, the instep, the outside edge of your foot, maybe onto the toes a little bit. And then switch over and move to the other foot. And these things really become addictive, okay?
My kids use them as well.
Exactly. I don't know anyone who doesn't like using these, right? I'm pretty sure some people only come to class because of this. So make sure you get all over that left foot as well. Pay attention to any little hot spots that maybe you find. And then, once again, just let the ball come to the middle, just between your feet, and once again, placing your feet all the way down. Holding onto your knees, lengthen up. And then again, breathing out as you draw your tail under, rolling yourself back, and just observe if there's any difference after you release the plantar fascia. And exhale, curling all the way up, lifting up nice and tall. Now stay here. You're going to stretch your left leg out along the floor, and you're going to place both hands lightly around the right knee, flexing that left foot. And exhale, curl back, using the abdominals to help you control the movement, and then hanging onto your knee. Take a little breath. Exhale, bend the elbows, roll up, lift up tall, 1 more time, and exhale. So basically what we're adding here is a lengthening along the full back line of the body, where this leg is bent. And curl forward. Lift up nice and tall, bending the left knee, placing the foot, extending your right leg, move your hands, and again, using your breath, draw the tail under, hold it there, and draw back up. And if you feel that you're twisting a little bit, why don't you just put one hand on the other leg? You don't have to hold on with both arms if that feels a little bit unbalanced for you. Take a little breath, and then exhale, curl, lifting all the way up, and then stretch both legs out, flexing the feet, arms float out. Exhale, draw the tail under, we're only going partway back. So now feel the connection into the abdominals as you release the back line of your body. And then forward you come. Lift up tall. One more set. Exhale, draw the tail under. Energy through the heels of the feet. Stay for a moment, soften your neck. And exhale, forward you come. Lifting all the way up. And once again, bend your knees. And this time, I want you to take the little ball and place it between your knees. You're going to hold onto it here. Arms extended. This time, go all the way down onto the floor. Exhale, draw your tail under. And then, just placing the hands lightly to the ground. Maybe slide your feet a little bit closer in towards you. And pause here for a moment. Decide if you want palms down or palms up, however it works for you. And we're going up into a pelvic curl. Take a breath in. Exhale, tilting your hips, rolling up towards the sky. Now with your knees quite close together, can you feel that the hamstrings and the inner thighs are going to work quite hard here? Exhale and roll down through your spine. So you might feel that you can't come up as high as you normally do, and that's absolutely fine. Take a breath in, and rolling your hips up. See if you can pause at the top for a moment and relax the back of your neck and the back of your head. Roll down through your spine. And release. We're going to do one more time. Tilting hips, rolling up, stay here just for a moment, breathing in, and then we get to ripple down through the spine, and release. Now, take your hands and place them lightly onto your pelvis. Take yourself into a little bit of a tilt of the pelvis so that you're almost imprinting your spine. And you should feel that the lower abs are switched on. On your breath, pick up both your legs at the same time, bringing them up to tabletop, holding it there, and then take the ball out, holding it in your fingertips up towards the sky. And then we start to tap one foot to the ground, and then switch. So you can do single leg, or if this is feeling pretty good for you, you can start jogging the legs in the air. So this is where the breathing is so important as well, because every exhale gives you that lovely deep connection towards the pelvic floor, those deep abdominal muscles, and that's going to help you stabilize into the lower back. Two more, one more, and then hug both knees in towards your chest. Stay here just for a moment. And then placing your feet down onto the floor again, having your knees and feet slightly separated. Now take the ball, lift your hips up, and place the ball underneath your sacrum. So this is the same release that we did 2 days ago. And once the ball feels like it's in the right place, you can just settle and then maybe do a little bit of a rocking action from side to side. So I mentioned this before as well, but this area over the sacrum and the lumbar spine has quite a bit of connective tissue, and it's quite sort of dense connective tissue because it has to work so hard for any of the force load that comes through there when we're moving. So this is an area that it's quite lovely to pay attention to. I don't know too many people that aren't going to feel a release after this. It's lovely, isn't it? And then let yourself settle in the center. Stay here for 3 breaths in and out. And all you're doing is surrendering your weight onto that little ball. You don't have to push down, but you're just allowing your breath to sink you a little bit deeper. And then in your own time, lift your pelvis up, slide the ball just out to the side. You can leave it beside you, bring your hips down, and then just rest there for a moment and feel the shift. Feel that wonderful release and that melting sensation across your pelvis. And then once again, you can open your eyes if they're closed, arms beside you. Let's go back into our pelvic curl. Tilting hips, rolling up in towards a bridge. Stay there for a moment. How does it feel for you? Is it any different? And then work your way down through your spine. And release. And we're going to take 2 more. And just for me, because we have now released the sacrum, plus we've removed the ball from between the knees, I'm feeling a much easier connection into my gluteus maximus than I would put on the first set. So that's just kind of the ripple effect that I'm feeling. And we're going to take 1 more time. Stay for a moment. Take a little breath in. And then exhale, rippling down through the spine and releasing at the bottom. So now we're going to take the ball again and place it just under the base of the skull. So again, this is the same release that we did a few days ago. So once you've got the ball there, you're just going to roll your head a little bit backwards and forwards, as if you're nodding your head, yes, 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 yes. And again, we've got quite a bit of connective tissue that attaches our skull to that very top vertebra. And depending on what our daily posture is like, it could be taking quite a bit of strain if our head is getting pushed forward all the time. Let's face it, that is so common nowadays because of us being on phones and laptops all the time. And then just make your head settle where it feels good for you. And then maybe do a little bit of a shaking of the head from side to side. No, no, no. So you're getting a little bit around towards the side muscles and the side attachments of fascia. And then once again, bring your head to the center. Now bring your hands onto your lower belly. It's just a tactile reminder to use it for support. I want you to do a little bit of a nod with the chin as if you're looking towards your knees. And then on your breath, just literally take the weight of your head off the ball. Don't lift up, just lift the weight of your head so you're activating the front deep neck muscles. And then let your head go down. And then roll your head back so you're getting a little bit of release for a moment. Roll your chin in. And again, on your breath, just hover your head off the ball. So you're waking up the front of the neck, but you're getting a release at the back. Let your head go down and then roll your chin back. Roll your chin in. Let's do 1 more time. And again, notice on your own body if it's easier than normal because you've released the back of the neck. Sometimes there's a tug of war that happens there between the front and the back. Roll your chin back. Roll your chin in. And then, once again, release, taking the ball all the way out and just settle here for a moment. Now we're going to take the ball and we're going to place it under the shoulder. Now, 2 days ago, we placed it between the shoulder blade and the spine. Now we're going to roll it out slightly, so it's more at the back of the shoulder. And leave your right hand resting on your belly, or whichever arm you're doing. Elbow bent, and you're just going to almost do little puppet robot arms. So it's a little bit of a bend, bringing the elbow towards the floor, and you might feel very quickly that you need to move the ball slightly. Let's just do 2 more. And then bring your elbow down to the floor with the elbow bent. And then we're going to go forward with the hand and then backwards. And just notice on your own body, like I find it pretty easy to bring my hand down, but bringing my hand backwards is not so easy. It doesn't really like that. And maybe you want to bring your elbow to touch the floor, or maybe you want to bring that elbow up a little bit so that you don't have the arm actually fully connecting to the ground. Whatever feels best for you. So this is an indirect way to start to get in towards the back of the shoulder, the deltoid, and into the rotator cuff. And then point your fingers out towards the sky again, and then just stretch the arm, turn the palm so it's facing across, and now open your arm with a straight elbow, and bring it up again. And again, if you need to move the ball at any point, do so. Open. And now effectively what we're doing is increasing the range. So you're getting maybe a little bit more stretch along the front of the shoulder, because normally we've got the shoulder on the ground, and now with the shoulder lifted, you're going to get a little bit of an increased stretch along the front arm line. And then bring your arm up, release it down, remove the ball, just put it beside you for a moment, and then just lie there with both arms on the ground. Feel free to close your eyes. I find it quite useful to remove my external surroundings so I can really feel what's happening. And whichever shoulder you just released now, does it feel any different? And in your own time, you can open your eyes if they were closed. And now you're going to move the ball over to the other side. So use this first few repetitions of bending and reaching to figure out if you've got the ball in the correct place for you. Maybe you need to change it slightly. You just want to feel that you're able to move your arm, and then the ball is still able to grip that little point of fascia behind the shoulder. And then let's do one more time. Bend the elbow, bringing it down. Maybe your elbow touches the floor, maybe it doesn't. And then you're just going to bring fingers forward, and then taking fingers back. And is there a different range of movement that you have on this side? Is it tighter or easier for you on that left side? Yeah, me too. So I did my left side first. I could barely move my fingers back. This right side can go back, no problem. And your right hand, Margie? Yeah, me too. And then bring your fingers just up towards the sky. Start reaching your arm up. You can turn your palm so it's facing across. And now do the open and close with your arm. And again, just notice how it feels on the front of your body now that you've got an increased range of movement. Maybe along the pec, maybe along the front of the shoulder, or maybe even down your bicep, because that's all part of the front arm line. Now let's just do one more. And release. And then slip the ball out, place it beside you. Just let your arms settle for a moment. And again, feel free to soften your gaze or close your eyes and notice. And on your next breath, blinking your eyes open, we're going to go up into one more set of pelvic curl. Tilting your hips, rolling up into your bridge position. Stay there just for a moment. And then you get to ripple down through the spine. And now that we've released the back of the shoulder, doesn't have any effect for you, because you may not think about it. When you come up into this pelvic curl bridge position, it's as if you pushed your arms behind you. So you're using the back line of the body. And we're going to do just one more time. Notice that opening along the front of the chest, the activity along the back, and then ripple down through your spine, imprint, and release. Lovely. Bring both knees in towards your chest, hug them in for a moment, and then slip your hands just behind your thighs, flexing your feet, and on your breath out, just simply start to straighten your legs and pushing the heels up towards the sky, and then release and come down. Let's do that one more time. Exhale and extend, lovely hamstring stretch, and release. Now let's bring our heads towards knees as you do that movement. And release. One more time, exhale. And releasing all the way down. Very nice. Now we're going to do a slow roll up. Move your thighs away from you. Bring the weight into your hands. Curl your head forward. Breathing out as you pour your body weight. And hopefully that feels quite easy after all those releases around the sacrum. Let your head rest towards your knees for a moment. And then exhale and unravel to come up into a sitting position. So I'm going to turn to face you. So we're going to do our little mermaid that we normally do. I want your right shin in front, left leg to the side, and then let's just go up and over into our lateral flexion. And up and over. So we're just going to do that seaweed movement a few times. And one more. And release. Now, swing your feet over to the other side. Taking a moment to sit here, and then again, gentle lateral flexion. Two more. One more. And release. And then just bring both your feet out in front of you. So again, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Now, I'm just going to warn you right now, this is not great fun. I want you to take the ball. I'm going to do my left deep bump first. It's that muscle called the piriformis. So you're going to take the ball, and you're going to literally slip it underneath your sit bone. And you're going to roll around until you feel that you can grip it there, that you don't have to move. Lean back so that you've got support with your hands and stretch your right leg out. And then cross your left ankle over that knee. And now bend that right foot and put your foot flat. So immediately you might feel that you're on the right spot. Okay? Woo, bit of a nasty. And now what I'd like you to do is just do one. There's mine. So as soon as I roll just a little bit to the outside, I can feel my trigger point there. Yeah. So wherever you feel it, and anybody who really suffers from sciatica, I mean, this can be really intense, but such a good release. Yeah. So guys, feel free. You almost need to get, like, if your sit bone is there and I can feel the bone on the ball, you almost need to roll your sit bone a little bit forward, because then you get into that fleshy part, like it's a little bit more up towards the sacrum. And now get your yourself onto your trigger point. Ooh, and now you're going to take 3 breaths in and out. You don't have to move, you just have to breathe and see if you can just surrender into it. You might be cursing me right now, but hopefully it'll feel good afterwards. And then release yourself slowly. Slide the legs out so you can uncross and then just slip the ball out. So now just bend your knees for a moment, stack your arms, rest your head, and just breathe here for a moment and just feel if there's any difference on how you're sitting on your buns. Yeah. I can feel a big difference. And then aren't we lucky we have another bum? So, you guys are going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to slip the ball under the right side now. Get it underneath there. Lean back. Cross that right foot over if you're doing the right side. And then bend the left foot so that you can stand. So you're using your hands and your foot to balance yourself. And then you just start going either forwards or backwards to find that you're off your sit bone, getting onto the fleshy part, and then start rolling towards the outside. So I'm still feeling a trigger point on the right, but not nearly as strong as I was feeling on the left. You too, okay? So just a gentle massage. So guys, it might not seem like it, but I'm really not a big believer in pain. Okay, so it's finding discomfort, but if it's like literally you can't breathe, then maybe you've gone just a little bit too deep or a little bit too hard into it. So find your trigger points, allow yourself to sit there and breathe. 3 deep inhales and exhales. Use your hands and your left foot on the floor to support yourself as much as you need. Taking 1 more breath in and out. And then you can uncross, slide the leg out, bringing the ball out. And once again, I want you to sit in the mermaid. So right leg in front. Now, I don't know about you guys, that is so much easier as I'm sitting here. Let's go into seaweed. Up and over. Up and over. Because oftentimes when I sit here, I feel a little bit of a pulling in my knee, and I know it's because my hips are tight. Come back to the center. Pause for a moment. Switch your legs over to the other side. Take a moment to sit here. Just notice how it feels. And again, seaweed. And come back to the center. Pause for a moment. And then unfold, and once again, bring your feet to the front. I'm going to turn sideways again. I want you to take the little ball, and remember that little ITB massage that we did the other day. So remember the ITB goes below the knee. And then work your way all the way up the side. And this is really just kind of stimulating it, because you could, if you really wanted to do a release, you could even lie your side and do all that kind of thing and rolling on it. So that's an option as well. Today we're feeling kind and gentle. And then switch over to the other side. Getting all the way up to the hip, maybe going above the hip, because don't forget that the ITB comes up to the crest of the pelvis here. And then just holding it there. And we're now going to turn onto our sides. It doesn't matter which side you do first. Knees bent. You're going to lower yourself down, and you're going to bring the ball just underneath the ribs here. So you're going to have your arm a little bit away from you. Guys, if you've got any shoulder issues, then please just adjust your arm so that it feels okay for you. You're going to place your feet so that they're slightly split. Just lift up a little bit and just roll. So my hips are still on the floor, it's just that I'm not sort of sitting heavy on them. And this is now serratus anterior. So by the way, serratus anterior, the only fascial line that appears in is the spiral line. So if you have a response to this, it means your spiral line somewhere is either locked long, tight, locked short. Okay, now just find a spot where it feels good for you, and then see if you can rest sideways over the ball. You can have your knees in whatever position feels good for you. And then the top arm, we're going to inhale and reach it over. So all we're doing is sort of encouraging that lateral flexion, and then exhale. And again, breathing in. And breathing out. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Nice. Use your hand to push yourself all the way up. Coming onto your forearm. And we're going to inhale, open up. You guys know about this one, right? And exhale, and we're going to do the whole thread the needle. We're not going to stay here, guys. Inhale, reach up and back. And exhale. And thread the needle. One more time, breathing in. And exhale. And coming all the way back to the center. And then coming upright. Now I want you to come into your mermaid seat. Once again with the right leg in front. And now, going into your seaweed, how does it feel? Is there any kind of shift for you now that you've opened up? So I did that release on my left side. I just feel like I can go, oh, like the movement almost doesn't want to stop, right? One more time. Long stretch. Yeah, feel it frees up everything along the side here. All right, spin your legs around to the other side. And now we're going to release the other serratus anterior. So bring yourself down so that you can connect your ribs onto the wall, wherever the arm needs to be. Split your feet a little bit and just lighten the load so that you can give yourself that little massage up and down. Make any adjustments to your arm placement. So I know that some of you have shoulder issues. So just make sure your shoulder feels okay. And then find a point where it feels good. And then allowing yourself to rest onto the ball. And now the top arm goes up and over. Breathe in. And breathe out. And again. One more time. And press yourself all the way up, coming onto your forearm. And now let's do that modification of thread the needle, that opening up of the arm lines. One more time, breathing in. And coming just back to the center and pushing yourself all the way up. Now sitting in the mermaid with your left leg to the front, and let's go into that seaweed again. And now notice how it feels on the other side. Easier, maybe not. So, like we said in the beginning, this is a chance for you to almost like figure out your body. What's releasing you, what isn't. Maybe one side is releasing more and the other side didn't do anything. And we're going to do one last one. Come all the way up and lift and tall. So now turn onto your stomach. We're going to do that little release for the cobra that we did. I'm actually getting quite hot now. Hey! Let me put that over there. All right, so you're going to have the ball just in the middle of your sternum. Now again, you might need to adjust it so that it feels comfortable for you. So whether or not it's a little bit higher up or lower down, see where it works. And then just place your hands on either side, have your legs a little bit apart. Bum cheeks are disengaged, and see if you can rest your head down to the floor. And then stay there and just once again give your body weight onto the ball. So I'm always interested that every time I breathe in, I can feel the back of my ribs and the thoracic spine create space. And then as I exhale and soften, it almost feels like I can move my head a little bit further away, like I've actually lengthened. So just notice if that's happening for you. And then energy through your legs. Just hover the tip of your nose so that you can breathe. And on your inhale, lift up into a little baby cobra and almost feel like you're rolling the ball forward in front of you. And then release, roll the ball back in and just hover the tip of your nose. And again, inhale, coming up into cobra. So your breath carries you up. And then it's an exhale to soften and release. Move the ball if you need. 2 more. And 1 more. And release. Take the ball out. Just leave it beside you. Lie there for a moment with your head connected to the ground. You can turn your head to the side if you need to. And just notice how it feels across the front of your body. Let your feet flop. Wonderful melting sensation. And then just hover the tip of your nose. Point your elbows straight up to the sky, and you're going to push yourself up onto your knees. So pressing up, nice strong movement supporting yourself, and then bring yourself into a 4-point position, and we're going to do our cat stretch here. So start by rounding your spine up towards the sky, so you're pushing away from your head, and then lengthen the tail out. Lift your tail, lift your heart, and lift your gaze. And now keep moving through this full cat stretch and bring your awareness to your heart space again. So whether or not you are extending the spine and feeling the opening across the heart, or whether or not you're rounding your spine and feeling that lift of your heart, it's probably going to feel a little bit different from how it normally does because of the fascial release that we get along the sternum. So just observe it. And let's finish our last one. Return yourself just to a neutral position and then sit back and shake out your hands. If you're comfortable sitting back on your knees like this, you can, otherwise kneel upright. And I just want you to take your little prop and I want you to roll it between your hands. So we have all these nerve endings that run into our hands as well. And then I want you to take the ball and just roll it on the front of one of your wrists. That's that carpal tunnel. And the wrist flexors. And then move on to the back of your wrist. Maybe you want to rest your hand down if it's getting tired. Go along the back of the hand and the backs of your fingers. And then once again, roll it between your 2 hands. Palms of the hands up to the fingertips. And then again, up to the wrist on the other side. Carpal tunnel. Flip it over. Do the back of your wrist. the backs of your hands, all the way down to the fingers. And then release, take the ball down. Once again, come onto all fours. And I just want you to stay here for a moment and close your eyes. Bring your focus to your fingertips, the palms of your hands, the backs of your hands, the front and the back of your wrists. And then opening your eyes, tucking your toes under, we're going to move into a downward facing dog. So hover your knees just up, press your hips back, lift your hips up, and then just start to pedal the heels down, getting that release along the back of the legs for a moment. And then push both heels towards the ground. It doesn't matter if your legs are bent or straight. And once again, I want you to stay here, and if you're comfortable to close your eyes, then do so. And bring your awareness once again to your hands. Notice the energy of your hands connecting to the ground, pressing away from the ground, the energy running up the elbow to the shoulder, and then just give your head a little bit of a shake, relaxing into the back of your neck. Take a breath in, and then exhale, lower your knees all the way down, release your feet, just open your knees nice and wide, sit back, and just coming into a resting pose here. So walk the palms of your hands together to touch, bending your elbows so you can place your hands just behind your head for a moment. And taking 5 deep breaths in and out. And on your next breath, releasing your hands all the way forward, and then walking your hands towards your knees. You're going to turn to sit on your bum cheeks. And what we're going to do now is have the ball behind us. You might very well have to move it once you're actually lying down, but we're going to be aiming to get the ball just between the shoulder blades, around the middle of the spine here. So hook your hands just behind your knees. Use your breath out as you start rolling yourself back, and you're going to feel the ball connect there, and then make any adjustments you need, and then lean yourself backwards. So bring your feet into a position where it feels that you are balanced, that you're nice and comfortable. And if it feels like your head is dropping back too much, then please put a little pillow underneath your head to give yourself a little bit of support here. And then once you feel the ball is in the right place, bring your hands straight up towards the sky, and then start to scissor the arms. One arm forward, one arm backwards. And you might be feeling that the ball is holding onto the connective tissue, sort of around the lower trapezius muscles or the middle trapezius, or if you've got the ball a little bit higher up, it might be sort of around the rhomboids. One more time. Bring both your hands up, interlock your fingers, lift your head till you can put your hands underneath, and then just let your head settle down. Guys, feel free to move the ball. And now you might need to take your pelvis into a little bit of a tilt to protect your lower back. We're going to nod the chin. Exhale as you come up into a little baby chest lift. And you might feel that you're almost getting a little bit of a push back onto the ball. And then releasing down, Can you allow yourself to extend backwards? Nod your chin. And again. Hold it for a moment. And then releasing slowly back. We're going to do 2 more. So this is quite intense because first of all, we're working on the mobility of your spine. We're doing flexion and extension here, but also we're gripping the fascia around those mid-back muscles, and that can be quite intense for a lot of us. And release, and then just keeping your right hand under your head, roll towards the right, using your left hand to just snip the ball out, and then rolling onto your back again. Now just have your hands behind your head, let your elbows flop down, knees bent, and again, feel free to close eyes, turn your gaze inwards, and just notice for a moment, how does your mid-back feel? Start to blink your eyes open, bring your elbows up a fraction, nod your chin, and on your breath, slide forward. And how does it feel? Releasing gently down. Let's do 3 more. So oftentimes, again, there's that tug of war between the strengthening at the front of the body, but the back body might be tight. It doesn't want to let go. So now hopefully we've released the back line. So now engaging the front line should feel, well, let's not say easy, but easier, right? 1 more time. And release. Let your elbows stretch out for a moment. And then to slip your hands out, bring both knees up into your chest, rocking just a little bit from side to side. And then hooking your hands behind your knees. Now instead of doing a slow roll up, we're going to do rolling like a ball. So tuck yourself into a tight little ball shape, and then start by using your legs to just do a little bit of a kicking action, massaging out your spine, and then at a given point, if you feel that you don't need to kick your legs anymore, just keep them tucked in nice and tight. 2 more. 1 more. And hold. And flexing your feet down. So just as we started, I'm just going to turn around so I don't have my back to Margie. You're going to make sure you're not pinching into the hips. Just overlap your hands. And then resting your head all the way down. Soften your gaze or perhaps close eyes. And taking just a few minutes as we finish our class to connect into ourselves. To observe and to acknowledge the shift that has taken place. Notice the expansion of your breath. Perhaps your breath can travel a little bit deeper, a little bit longer than when we started. Allow your belly to soften. And observing your energetic body. How do you feel? Taking 3 more breaths in and out. And on your last breath out, allowing your lips to open and sigh. With your eyes open, let yourself unravel slowly, lifting all the way up and tall. Just bring your hands down beside you for a moment with your palms facing upwards. Taking 1 deep breath in, reach up, connecting your hands. And exhale, creating that little bit of space for yourself for the rest of the day. Roll the shoulders back and around. Fantastic. So nice to have you here. Wonderful, guys. Let me just turn the sound on again.